to WRPB and WRPB Studios. Okay, so I always say, and I say it almost every show, use a professional. If you don't use a professional, it's going to cost you 5 times more money and 10 times more in aggravation. And I say that because of things that I've gone through in my life. You know, you guys have been following me, know I had a heart attack and bypass surgery. You know, I had 2 strokes. Well, there are things in life that I can't do anymore. And some of them are things I used to be able to do, and I look back and I say, why did I even do them? With me is Ronald Davis. Can I call you Ron?
Yes.
So Ron has Davis, I know it's Davis,
Hauling
and
junk
junk
removal.
removal. So when you say hauling, I say, a light goes off in my head and says, how many things did I pass up because I left the garage sale in Vista that I didn't buy because I had no way to get it to my house?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's just say I go to a garage sale, I find a couch. Can I call you up and you guys will pick it up and bring it?
Absolutely.
Okay, so the other thing that came to my mind, and the reason that you're here, is because I lived in a 2,800 square foot home.
Right.
And I moved there because my mom was in assisted living and I wanted to take her out and move her in with me. Well, when she passed away, I needed to move out of that house. And I'm looking and I'm going, 2,800 feet, what am I going to do with all this stuff? I have a 1,350 square foot mobile home that I was going to move into for the time being, but what was I going to do with all that stuff? So I was going to junk it. Well, I was renting that place, and if I don't clean it out, it's going to come off of my security.
Mm-hmm.
And if you know anything, rents are pretty high, security's pretty high.
Security's high.
I ended up leaving it because I got sick. But I lost $700 is what it cost me for them to take this stuff from the house. They didn't junk it. They just moved it from the house to the front yard where I guess the city took it.
Right.
And I don't know what it costs to move stuff, but I know that there are fees involved if you take stuff to the dump.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I call you up and I say, hey, I have this property. I need to get rid of this stuff. Do you come and give an estimate? Is that how it kind of breaks down?
I do it a couple ways. Some people will give me an itemized list, and through the years of doing this, I can kind of guesstimate how much it's going to cost to get rid of it, how long it's going to take to load up, to clear out the whole house. So I do offer a site visit and say I'd like to do a walkthrough. Some people don't want you there until they're ready to make the decision.
Right.
So they just say, oh, how much would it be for this, this, and this? And then you say, all right, well, this is going to be about how much. Now the price could go up, it could go down, but you're looking at around X.
Right.
And so then when I get there, they'll say, well, I wanted to add this, I want to add this, I want to add this. But I make sure to tell them that all estimates aren't final.
Uh-huh.
And people always think that means it's going to be more. Like, no, it could also be less. It could get there. It may not take me as long. So that's sort of how we've been doing it. And you know, we offer, they'll send pictures and say,
Right.
this is what I have, how much to get rid of it.
Technology made that a little bit easier.
Correct.
And when you go to estimate a job for you look what's there, you look at what it's going to cost you to dump, I guess. Do you look at the time it's going to take you to?
Yep. So I see how long, if I plan on being there for an hour, is it going to take me 2 hours? Are there steps? Is there furniture that has to get disassembled? Do I have to go down, a backyard? Is there any kind of, is there a lot of liability involved? Meaning, when you're carrying a couch out of someone's home or a TV, you nick a wall, and next thing you know, you got to fix the wall. So, there's a lot of variables that go into how much something costs. People think just because you're throwing it away, it should be cheap or free. That's not always the case.
No, because your job is not black and white.
Correct.
So did you ever go into home, price them, and then you gave them the final price because
Yes.
you went, and then it wasn't what you thought it would be?
Definitely not what I was going to thought it'd be, but I've learned to take those experiences And somebody once told me that you're paying for your education.
Right.
There was one job where it was, I quoted them, it was just yard debris because the town will only come around so often and you're only allowed to have so much out by the curb. So I told them, oh, it's probably not going to be a lot. So then I told them the price, they agreed, and then when I went and did it, it ended up being twice as long. The dump fees ended up being twice as much, and I I made $0 on the job. I didn't profit anything, but I learned a valuable lesson, and I learned what not to do and what to do. So, the same people that helped me kind of mentor me said, listen, just think of it like this. Don't think of it as a loss. Think of it as you're just paying for your education.
Right. A learned lesson.
Learn
But
lesson.
the situation with that is that you, God willing, you won't make that mistake again.
Correct.
God willing, you won't make that same mistake again. And we don't live in a perfect world. And here, we live in a world of technology in the studio here. And is it always perfect? No. I'm blessed that I have the editing team and the technical team that I have. My thing, when I started this, I had nobody, so I did it, and I talk about that my editing skills were like a 6 out of 10.
Right.
Okay, the guys that are here now, they're 10 out of 10, and I'm blessed to have that. But I got to tell you, I still make mistakes. I still make mistakes. I'm in a better position today. I'm a little more picky than I was.
Right.
Okay, and financially, I won't get hurt like I would in the past, or like a new company. Okay. If you've been doing this, then there's got to be items that people wanted to junk that you said, that's not junk, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
So, in your house, do you have any items that were going to be junked and you said, this has some value, I think I want this?
Yeah, I recently just got a bigger garage, and there are some things that I'll bring home and say, this is not bad enough to throw out. There will
Right.
be somebody that uses it. And unfortunately, right now, we're in an inflated market to where furniture is just expensive. You can go to the store and buy a couch for $500 versus me taking it out of someone's home and I say, all right, I'll sell this couch to you for $200.
Right.
And I let the customer know, and a lot of people don't care. They just said, I don't care what you do with it. I just want it gone, resell it if you want, throw it out. I don't care. And then some things that don't necessarily get bought, I'll take and donate. Salvation Army, Goodwill, places like those that, they just drop it off and, let them deal with it. And it's not about always the money. It's about kind of passing it down and helping out the next person.
So, the couch that I had in the big house was garbage. I didn't like it, whatever. When we moved to this house, we said, well, we got to buy a couch. So there was a garage sale 3 blocks away. The woman had a couch. Brand new. Old woman. She's never even sat on it.
Right.
Cost me $50.
It's a good deal.
It was a great deal. But I had to get it to my house.
A to B. That's what we offer.
Okay? And that's when a company like yours is so perfect. Because I'm not quoting prices for you, but even if it cost me $100, let's just say, and it would probably cost me less, but let's say it cost me $100. That means that couch, which is probably $500 to $800 today, would cost me $150, and it was like brand new. It was back
Right.
brand new. The other thing is, my wife's a chocolatier. We make chocolate, so we need to buy a freezer, and we don't want to buy a new one because there's no need for a new one. It's almost like a garage freezer. But the problem is, I have to get it from wherever it is, and a Frigidaire and a freezer are very particular because they can't be laid down. They
Right. They got to be standing up.
Right. So there's so many things that we don't know, and I've been garage selling forever. I bought a little desk. I mean, I don't know, probably this wide, and it didn't fit in the car. So I ended up buying from the same people a bicycle rack for the back of the car, and I kind of rigged it, and I put the desk on the bicycle rack, but it was only like 3 or 4 blocks away. But having someone in your back pocket that you can call, because people are not going to hold stuff if you're not taking it.
Right.
You go to the thrift store a day, and then it's gone.
Right.
And I lost this cabinet that I wanted really bad because I didn't have anyone to pick it up.
Right.
So someone like you guys, people should have in their phone, because you never, especially if you're a garage sale or a thrift store, okay? So hauling, you just go to A to B is the hauling end, and the junk removal end is from A to the dump.
Correct.
Okay, Did the dump fees keep going up?
Right now, they're pretty steady. They haven't increased in the last year. Right now, there was a community dump right in Port St. Lucie that they don't charge you as long as you're a Port St. Lucie resident. But unfortunately, the problem is not everybody has access to a truck and trailer.
Right.
So why, yes, it might be free to dump, it still costs time, fuel, wear and tear on your vehicle. You still got to pay insurance, even if it's just one couch to get thrown out. You say, okay, I'll do it for $100. And be like, why so expensive? Why so expensive? But because it's still the time. It's still it's not just the time to your house. I still have to dispose of it, which means I have to drive to the dump, which is more time, which is more fuel, which is more wear and tear. So, there are outlets for people to dispose of things for free. But like you said, with that older lady or the older gentleman, somebody doesn't have the ability to do it themselves. So
Right.
you need someone like me.
And I totally get it. And, the service that you offer, the hauling service, for someone like me, is like so important because I love the thrift store and garage shop.
Mm-hmm.
And that means I can buy this item, that item, this item, but I can't buy the bigger items.
Right.
And someone says, well, why don't you just rent a truck? It's only $19 or $29, but it's not.
It's also the time, and you got to stop and find one if they're in stock, and then it's just.
I had 2 strokes and a heart attack. I'm
Yeah.
not going to carry the couch,
Correct.
a heavy item into
Right.
it's just too much. I remember going to an event out in Okeechobee, and for some reason, the rocking chairs that they have at what's the restaurant? The Cracker Barrel.
Okay.
Those are expensive rocking chairs.
Yeah.
Well, my wife put her business card and won the rocking chair.
Okay.
So, and it's not heavy.
We had no way of getting it.
Well, I put it in my car with the windows open. She had to sit in the back seat and hold it because otherwise it would hit the stick shift.
Right.
And of course, it starts to rain. Windows open, it starts to rain.
There you go.
If I would have had a number, it would have been that much easier.
Right.
So you also have to deal with distance too.
Correct.
So how do people get in touch with you? You have a phone number?
I have a phone number.
Okay.
772-267-2100. That goes right to me. That's my cell phone number. There's no answering service. There's no press 1 to speak to them. It's right to me.
Okay, and you have a website?
Correct. DavisHaulingJunkRemoval.com, and you can actually fill out a form right on the website, and it'll get sent to me. I'll reach out to you, and then that's kind of how we start.
So from the time I call you and agree for you to pick the stuff up, how is there a lead time? Because some people need stuff done in a day or two.
Right.
Can you do that?
Absolutely. I offer a lot of same day service, and if I tell them I can't get there today, I promise within the next 24 hours. And so far, luckily, it's been working out that way.
All right, guys. If you want something, use a professional. You're going to save so much aggravation. And I know you'll save money too, but it's the aggravation that really costs the most on your health. And you guys know me, know what I've been through. It's so much easier and so much more value to have someone do certain things for you that you shouldn't have to do for yourself, because you can spend that time with family, which is more important. There are people out there that are doing the jobs that you dread doing. Use them, okay? He's there to use, and you can't always think of it money-wise. You got to think of your health, because carrying a couch.
Not always easy.
Well, I'm 66 and I had a heart attack and 2 strokes.
Right.
I can't do it. It's just not going to happen. Everybody, always use a professional. Ron, thank you for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me.
Everybody, we'll be right back.